centered around home, school, and church. Those were the only avenues we traveled as kids, and it was a very organized and self-sufficient activity all through the year. We lived on a farm, and on our farm we had our animals, and we planted produce, which we sold and for our own consumption.
What kind of produce?
We had greens, corn, peas, watermelons, cotton at some point. Whatever was in season, that's what we had. And we had sugar cane, anything that served as being able to sustain us all through the year.
And other things about home. Tell us, what was your house like?
The home life was, you get up early in the morning, and if it was the fall of the year, you would be milking cows, you would be seeing about the other animals, because the animals were very important, but the land took priority over everything. The land was the key. Without the land, you couldn't do nothing. We own our own land. And let's step back a few years. My great-granddaddy couldn't read, my granddaddy couldn't read, and my daddy couldn't read.
No kidding.
Each one of them died at 90 plus years. But that created a movement. It was sort of like a setback for the future generation, but it did create a movement to make you more self-sufficient and more of a positive, productive citizen, knowing that their plight had held them back. Mm-hmm. But every generation, they were study climbing, you know.
And you were talking about midwives.
Midwives. None of my older brothers and sisters were born in a hospital. They wouldn't admit you there anyway. And the midwives, you had a lot of them in the area that they were very professional in my view, you know.
How did they get trained? Do you know?
Beg your pardon?
How were they trained? How did they learn?
I guess they were self-taught, you know.
Yeah.
They just knew a lady getting ready to have a baby. It ain't one or two things you could do. Accept the baby, you can't send him back. Yeah.
No, you can't. So tell us what you brought here on the table. Just a few of the
tools here. I got the cotton scale. This thing stole a lot of my money because they could manipulate it. You know, they had a device to put on there. We call it a P. It was a counterweight, like a doctor's scale. And you would hang your cotton on here in a big sack, and they would weigh it by, you know, scanning that scale there, you know, getting the right weight on it.
I grew up with a butcher shop, and they'd always say, don't put your thumb on the scale to the butcher. So I guess this is the same idea.
And this, do anybody know what this is called? Who said that? Right, how do you know that? Oh.
God bless museums.
Yeah, this is a singer tree. This is a horse-drawn device that actually hooks to the plow, and this end hooks to the mule itself. And it operates on leverage. You know, it'll stay level because it swivels here. And then you got a cleavage that goes in here. You'll see right here. You see how it's worn right there? You just imagine how hard that animal worked to wear that groove in there. You see, our animals back then were just as important as people, really. They never stayed out in the weather at night. The milk cows, the mules, we housed them and kept them in shelter and fed them real good. They were trained by voice command and just pure presence on just plowing in the fields.
No, wait, describe this again, because I didn't get it.
The singer tree.
Single tree.
Yeah. The chains off of the mule are hooked to this part, and this part is hooked to the, okay, I got it turned around. This part here, See that it's two chains that come off of the side of the mule that's hooked to the collar. It's hooked to this, and then this is hooked to the plow.
Oh, to the plow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And then if you wanted to double it up, you call it a double tree or a single tree. If you want, like you see on TV, they have two horses pulling a wagon. That's a double tree, a triple tree with three of them. And nothing can outpull the ox. We didn't have no horses, but we had mules and we had one ox, but nothing can outpull him.
And thank you for being at the Folklife area. We hope we'll see more of you.